Pup Copper here. I'm back and ready to play more Satisfactory. Today the plan is to build out some basic steel production, and first though I'll show you some stuff that I've done off camera that just kind of were things I needed to do. Oh, you will also notice that I may look a little sharper or whatever in my little pup and pup thing there in the corner. I got a new webcam that's better than the no-name Chinese one that I had. So yeah, hopefully my image is sharper and the green screen effect is a little crisper. So yeah, so you'll notice first that I took out the biomass burners just because we didn't need them anymore. And why? Well, because I doubled our coal power production at our little coal plant there. So yeah, in addition to that, we had our transport lines that were just kind of dead-ending back into our base, and I took care of that. So now that they actually do something. So you'll see here, there we go, I avoided falling off the edge, that we're doing stuff. So I've got steel ingots and copper ingots coming in. The copper gets routed into all this stuff over here, which is making cable and wire to make whatchamacallits, auto wire for the space elevator. And yeah, okay, yeah, there we go. It's just waiting for stators to be made. Really? Really? The wiring is taking that long? 20. Oh, because I didn't turn that one on. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so here's a whole bunch of wire, and I did some stuff. I mean, the incoming copper ingots are just a simple manifold setup overflow setup where it's just kind of cascading through the system. Then I load balanced everything back here so that we're producing the exact amounts of wire and cable that we need for the auto wire setup. And then we're bringing our steel ingots out of storage here, and they're getting chunked into all these constructors, which are producing all the steel pipe and steel beams we need. So right now it's actually configured for 270 steel ingots per minute, whereas I think we're producing only about 90, but we've had such a backlog that it's not an issue right now. But that's going to be something we'll take care of shortly here. Now, I'll show you this. I did do some additional stuff. I went and unlocked some items in the Caterium research tree in the MAM. So that gave us my little Hoppy Hops, the Blade Runners that I'm wearing right now, which lets me jump on stuff and run more easily than I was able to before. And I also got the Smart Splitter. So if you're new to the game, you've never played with the Smart Splitters before, basically it's a really easy concept. So the regular splitters just take a given line, and they're pretty dumb. They split it one way, two ways, or three ways, and you have to load balance it to get everything to work out properly. Smart splitters, kind of the same deal, but you can do some extra stuff with it. You can feed a line, or you can feed a line of multiple items, different items. You can feed that in here, and then tell the Smart Splitter I want to send one item this way, one item that way, and then I want the extra to go over here. I use these a lot in single line setups, not just multiple stuff. I do use them for that too, but I use it for single line stuff where I'll say, I want my resource to go left, and then I want the overflow to go through the center output to a sink. This is great for splitting stuff and then just not worrying about load balancing, because you can just put one of these smart splitters on the end of your overflow system and the stuff gets siphoned off and sent to a sink or storage or whatever. It's really handy. Now, in the case of this little setup here, we have some splitters that will siphon off steel beams and steel pipe if there's any backups. So they have the overflow command enabled. So here, this splitter is just sending everything through the center output, but if it backs up, the overflow will go left, and it'll merge together with a similar setup for the steel pipes, and then sent down this line, and then 2 more smart splitters split the steel beams and steel pipe into the appropriate storage bins. So right now we don't have any overflow of steel pipe, so we don't have anything accumulated there. But I believe we do have, yeah, we've got some steel beams that have accumulated there because we didn't quite need everything we're making for our versatile framework. So we've got some going here, and it's just taking the extra modular frames that we were already producing and just making use of that. And yeah, and stuff is just slowly funneling into the space elevator, and we'll just leave it here running while we go off and do other stuff. And yeah, so that's really the biggest change, is just I've added all this, and it's just kind of automated away. So the space elevator parts for the next tiers are being taken care of. It's just doing its thing. And I also put some storage bins in line with the, or at least I put one storage bin for the auto wire in line with the space elevator, because versatile frameworks are used. So once we unlock this current round of parts in the space elevator, the versatile frameworks will be required for the next space elevator tier, but auto wire will not be required. However, automated wiring is required for the parts that will be one of the parts that will be required in the next space elevator tier. So it's in our interest to let that just accumulate, and once the space elevator backs up, I mean, we're halfway to that point already, so once the space elevator fills up with auto wire, it'll just back up into this massive industrial storage container, and there's the chainsaw for no reason, and yeah, it'll be good. And the industrial storage containers have 48 slots versus the 24 slots in a regular storage container, so hopefully this shouldn't fill up too quickly. Maybe. I'm sure it won't. And by the time it does fill up fully, if it does fill up, we will be on our way to dismantling this whole setup and finding other uses for the copper and the steel ingots, because we'll just need general supplies of the steel ingots, and then we'll also need to make encased beams and heavy modular frames and all sorts of other things. So let's keep motoring on. So yeah. Now, I did put a minor, there's a pure Caterium node up here on one of the cliffs. Let me see if, yeah, you can kind of see it up there. So there's a pure node there, and I stuck a Mark 1 miner on it, and all it's doing right now is just filling up a storage bin, and I manually come and move things down to a little one-off production line that processes the stuff into ingots and then into quick wire. It's not really well balanced, but it kind of makes stuff on demand when I need it. Oh wait, I got so wrapped up in going over to start doing the steel project that I forgot the most important thing. I need to know what parts we need. So what we're going to be doing today is expanding our steel production, and what we're going to be doing is loosely based on the steel engine that Kibitz showed, I believe, starting his Season 3 vanilla playthrough, and it's going to loosely be based on us. Kibitz uses the foundations that they're kind of like an open girder type deal, and he threads the belts through, and he makes it look effortless. But I've just never really gotten that to work, so I have a little workaround which involves concrete foundations and the conveyor belt walls and some conveyor lifts, and it pretty much accomplishes the same thing. It's load balanced, and it produces a crap ton of steel. Now, the thing about this is we're going to be constrained by our Mark III belts. So these are the belts that are made using steel beams. Those belts have a maximum speed of 270 items per minute. But here's the thing: the steel setup we're going to be building today, it will handle exactly 270 per minute. You know why? Because the foundries, which we make steel in, process coal and iron in equal parts of 45 per minute without any overclocking mess or anything, and output at 45 per minute. And guess what? 270 is evenly divisible by 45. You get, when you divide it by 45, you get 6 foundries. I don't know why I did 3. 6 foundries. I can count. This is what I do all day. I count. So we can do this, and we're going to be putting these on an elevated platform that's about 7 concrete foundation squares long by 5 wide. And this will give us a lot of room. The setup will be neat and clean. It may not be as compact as Kibitz's setup, but it'll work just fine. This is my go-to setup in all of my playthroughs, and it works just fine as long as you balance the miners properly. So, with that being said, we'll get to that in a second. So, first off, we're going to need 1 miner, Mark II, because I can't remember if I upgraded the iron ore miner. I did upgrade all of the coal miners off camera, so that's not a problem. Now we need 6 foundries, 4, 5, 6. So we need a bunch of parts, and we're going to have to make some encased industrial beams, which is fine. We've got everything we need to do all this. We're fine. No need to panic yet. Yeah, I think we're good. Here. So let's... I'm just grabbing all the nuts I need just in case we need them. Whee! That's the one. In addition to just making you run fast, that's the other nice thing about the Blade Runners is they cushion fall damage. So, jumping off a low cliff won't cause damage to you if you have the Blade Runners on, and that's great. High cliffs, they will actually keep you from dying, and you are welcome to try this, but if you fall off a tall cliff like one of those guys and you are at full health, the Blade Runners will prevent you from instantly dying. You'll be reduced to a quarter health, but you will not completely die, which is nice. Go truck, go. First off, let's go and just take care of the iron miner here. See, I left that there like I knew I was coming back here. There we go. We'll just upgrade the belt while we're here because we're going to have to. And I'll wait until we're down there to upgrade it. There will probably be some kajiggering of the belts in general down there too. Now... Also, I'm going to dump that out. We're going to set that to 270. So if you're on a pure node, overclocking to 270 with a Mark II miner is 112.5%. So you only need 1 power shard, which is nice. That's the other nice little thing about this setup, that you don't need to overclock it, an insane amount. Alright, what we're going to do is I'm going to just disconnect that, and disconnect that, and disconnect that. Oh, I thought that those copper ingots were being produced at 120 per minute. I was mistaken. It turns out it's only at 60. That means we have some room to improve on this. Okay. Oh yeah, while we're waiting for that just to kind of drain itself, I'll show you what I did over here with the coal plant. Yeah, it's nothing too extravagant. I just mirrored the same setup that was over here, and after I upgraded these 2 miners to Mark IIs, I just diverted one of the lines just to feed these 8 coal plants. And yeah, all this was a doubling of power output. So whereas we were at 600 megawatts before, we're now at 1200. Also, I learned something interesting thanks to the Satisfactory Reddit. The little rock outcroppings that we've seen in places that, like, you know, I'll dig away the quartz for because it's useful. Apparently, some of those nodes or some of those little random rocks are random. So, you know, one playthrough you may have iron in one spot, next playthrough it may be quartz. And I think on this one there is a uranium rock somewhere. Yep, there it is. There's the spicy rock, and I hear... Alright, Daddy Pig. You just gonna drown? Is that what you're doing? Alright. Ooh! Free concrete. Well, not free, but... So now we're just gonna go and get back up to our little setup here. Yep, I left a ladder over there. Good. Good, good, good. That's the copper setup. Alright. Alright. So we're just going to get rid of this stuff first and let the system just kind of run itself out. Because even though we have a backlog of stuff at base, I don't want to run the risk of running short. So we're just going to milk the system for every bit we can. Alright, we're not getting rid of that. While that does that, I'm going to just run a separate power line around the corner because we are going to be getting rid of the existing power lines right here just to get them out of our way. Alright, we ran out of stuff. Alright. Get rid of the coal and iron, just don't need them anymore. Keep that there because apparently that's tied into the grid. I don't want to mess with it. Alright, is this going to be a big enough space? Yeah, I think it might be, actually. Alright. Well, we'll see if we need to move things around in a few minutes. Because I think the dimensions are going to work here. So we'll do that. 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 Okay. So we're just building the grid here. I don't know. This may be... And I just fell down. That may be a little tighter than what I was planning for. We'll figure this out. And if we need to move something like our coal line, we can easily do that. Okay, let's make sure I don't do that again. Fool me once, shame you. Fool me twice. Don't you ever do that again. Okay. Now, I'm gonna try this again. We're gonna build a lookout tower, just to help with some of our planning. All right. Oh yeah, that'll work. All right, we're just gonna jump down here. Still not working exactly how I wanted it to. So let's see. I don't know where that just built. I really don't. Have walls? Yeah, I do have the conveyor walls. Great, I don't have to spend on points. Alright, we're gonna cheat a little bit here. I mean, cheat's kind of the wrong word. We're just gonna get creative here. Yeah, we'll have clearance to route the coal in from down here. We'll run the... Well, we won't even need to really run the iron up. I mean, we'll just drop it down to the right level that we actually need it at, and we'll be good. This isn't exactly how I was planning on this working, but, you know, I'll take this. This is gonna, I mean, this will... Oh, there's that thing. Yeah, we've got 3 openings for our foundries. We're good. I'm happy. Alright, so we're gonna build conveyor walls on all of these. Now, you may think at first, because the foundries have two input ports, that you need the 2-belt wall. And why you can do that, the refineries aren't going to line up perfectly to it, but if you use the conveyor belt walls that have the 3, you can actually get the belts to line up perfectly. So that's what we're going to be doing. And this gives us our nice little heft to the platform. You know, this is okay. There we go. Great. So, what I'm going to do first is we're going to use another lookout tower because those things are just so ridiculously handy. I'll just place it right... actually, I tell you what, I'm going to move it back a little just to make sure we're not, like, overlapping with any build space. Great. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off from the middle here. And we're going to go to the production, we're going to grab the foundry, and this is going to be a little bit... I think this is aligned correctly. So, since it's taking 45 in per minute, we can still use a Mark 1 belt. There we go. We got it on the first try. That's beautiful. Now, everything else is just a cakewalk because it'll just snap to grid. And now, all I have to do is... And now that you get enough of these going, you can just easily align both the X and Y axes. Perfect. Okay, we've got 4 out of 6. Great. And now for the last one. Wow, that went smoother than I was expecting it to, honestly. I was expecting to have to do this a couple times. Great. Fantastic. We just did that. We did a thing. It's great. So now we're just gonna... I don't know why this isn't aligned to grid. Some buildings are a little finicky. Ah! Okay. Maybe I should get those guardrails. Great. Great. Let's see. That's 90, 135. Yeah, so we need Mark 3 belts. Which is fine. We'll come along with those in a second. Merger. Great. Where is... Okay. Alright, so now we're building Mark III belts here to connect all this stuff together. And, I mean, I know I'm focusing on the output belts first. Ooh, that wasn't good. But yeah, we'll come back in a minute and do all the inputs, because one input will go below, and that's pretty easy to hook up, and then one will go above. So I typically do coal on the bottom floor and then ore up on top. No particular reason, that's just how I do it. Alright, Alright, and we're going to put a buffering container here. I don't think we need... Well, we can put an industrial storage container. For some reason, it's not aligning. Yeah. Oh well. There we go. So we've got our buffer container. And I'm just not having good luck with conveyor belts tonight. There we go. Great, now we've got our output set up. Now, I did intend to go down here. We need to go ahead and set this to be... I want to set this miner to... What do I want it to be? Well, we're kind of constrained by our Mark III belts. And eventually, the system will overflow anyway. Well, I take that back. We're not constrained. There we go. Let's just put it at 150. This will... go there. There we go, and we'll do some magic. Up here. Let's see if I can get a merge. So what I'm going to do, let's go here. So what I've done already, I'm missing AI limiters. Let's see. Do I have quick wire on hand? Yes, I do. Great. I can make a couple of those to make a smart splitter after I get rid of this iron. There we go. That's good enough. Ooh, that was bad. I rotated that incorrectly. Okay. Let's try this again. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to send coal to the left output and send the overflow there. And hopefully this will fix everything. And it really doesn't matter because we have a bunch of coal on hand anyways. Alright, now we're going to go up and figure out what we need to do for routing everything. Maybe a little trickier than I expected, but we'll see. So this will be a Mark 1. Great. Mark 1. Mark 1. Now, there's a method to my madness of putting those belts in up on the foundries first. Basically, when working with the conveyor lifts in general, they can be a little bit finicky in terms of how they auto-set their directions when you're placing them. So I find that it's helpful just to put in a belt in the direction you want it to go to give us a good guide. Alright, so now... I know there's probably a more efficient way to do this, but this is a setup that works for me, and I can place it pretty quickly. This is going to be 20 and and then 3 outputs. Great. And it's going to be the same as the input routing that we had above, where it comes down, it transitions to a Mark 3 and then it downshifts to a Mark 2. It's just is what it is. There we go. Go. And I believe that's it. Now this is a lot tighter than I'm used to, but this will work. We'll just leave that quirky. Go. All right. Can I place anything here? Place that. Okay, great. I thought that was going to block it. And when we build more copper stuff, we can just extend out this way. That's fine. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to close this floor off and then build on the next floor. And then everything will start producing steel ingots for us. Oh, and yeah, we need to power it all up. Yeah, this is just going to be a tedious process, so I'll just fast forward until we get to the good stuff where I'm laying out the next floor. So, yeah, there will be a fast forward here, I think. Oh no, I don't have the gateways. Okay, easy to fix. Alright, so we're back. So, I went back, I got more stuff. We needed a bunch of stuff, actually. And then I built out the top foundation where our ore is going to come in. And actually, now that I kind of came up here, this works out pretty nicely, actually. It's right at the right level for this. Actually, since it is at the right level and it should all be like squared away, there we go. Yeah. So like we did down here, at the level our foundries are on, I added these conveyor walls, and we're not going to use all the ports, but I added the conveyor walls here so that we can just line everything up nice and perfectly. So we're still going to use Mark 1 conveyors. And you listen for the little ding there. Yep. Great. There we go. Yeah. And there we go. That one was just being a little finicky. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to come through and we're just going to do a similar layout to what we did before. And there we go. We'll just have that come through here. There we go. Mark 1. Mark 1. And Mark 1, there we go. This is going to be a Mark 2 belt. This is going to be a Mark 3. Now, you'll notice that I'm still leaving a lot of this open, and there's a reason for that. It's once we turn the foundries on, I want to make sure that ore is properly going through, and if we need to troubleshoot something, I don't want to have to go through and like rip stuff up and do it again. So, you know, it's kind of measure twice, cut once. Because everything seems like it will work fine, but sometimes the conveyor belts can be a little finicky. And I went to the wrong end of this. Okay. And I think I did the same thing on the other side. I want to get this just right. Ugh, being a perfectionist sucks. There we go. Alright, now let's go down here and turn this... Well, I did not intend to completely do that, but yeah. What I'm going to do here is, and you can do something different, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the little power pole thingies that go on the walls, just to make this look neater. And we'll just do that one through the wall. Oh, I didn't hook this side up. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. I swear, I thought I had hooked all this stuff up. I guess not. Alright, let's turn these bad boys on. Did I not connect something up there? This entire side is not getting any stuff. But we are producing steel, so that's good. Yeah, we didn't connect it up to that side. Small oversight. Here, I'll just throw some steel or iron in there just to get it out of my inventory. Oh good, it is building up. Great. Okay. Okay. It looks like this is working. Great. So we'll just seal this up and I think we're done. Since we don't have to be fancy here, I'm just using the small foundations. And I may come back at a later point in time and add some lighting onto this, just to kind of give it more of an industrial feel. Because right now it's kind of dark. I mean, literally, not figuratively. There we go. All right. Oh good, it is getting loaded up with stuff. Yay. Yeah, so I think this is working actually. This is great. So yeah, we're producing 270 steel per minute, and yeah. So, I think that's it. We have our basic steel capacity going, and once we're finished with the space elevator parts, which we're almost at based off when I just checked at base when I was over there, Yeah, we'll just start stockpiling stuff and then transition to like encased beam and heavy modular frame production. So I think, and then we have a whole list of projects because we need more power. So we're probably going to go to that Crater Lake area with the 3 pure coal nodes and build a whole bunch of coal power there. And then we're going to be getting into, once we unlock tiers 5 and 6, we're going to be getting into oil. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, so there's a lot to do, and there's something to be said for just even if we have the technology available, to just plateau at the tech level where we're at right now and just make the best use of it and streamline everything. And we've got all those Mark II, we got all those pure nodes back at base 2 that we can optimize and build out all of our basic production. So yeah, hold on. Well. Oh. No wonder there was some steel missing. Didn't seem like that was going fast enough. Okay, cool. We're done. We're good. We're good. But yeah, we got a list of projects that keep ourselves busy until Update 5 releases later, in theory, I guess, later this year. And there we go. So, yeah. We have plenty to do together. So, if you don't want to miss out on more videos where we do stuff, remember to pull that like button and boot the subscribe button so you just don't miss out on more videos from me, Pup Copper. Arroo!